Hi, I'm Goddard, massive Doctor Who fan, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another episode of my Unpopular Opinion series. And today we are going into a very personal topic, and I'm going to make this video very detailed for all of you because I do not want to miss anything else in this video. This video is very personal to me because today we're going to be talking about my favourite Doctor of all time, the 12th Doctor, played by the wonderful Peter Capaldi from 2014 to 2017. He is a magnificent Doctor, which most people criticise him for the amount of stories he's not had, the best amount of stories in his tenure. People judge him by how well he's judged in stories, not by his tenure as a whole. His era is so far greater than any other Doctor. His storyline, so complex and so unique, makes him the greatest actor to have ever played the Doctor, and this is my unpopular opinion of the one and only the 12th Doctor. This is a bold statement, coming from a guy who has the 12th Doctor on his wall. I'm sure I'm not the only person who believes that Peter Capaldi is the greatest actor of all time to play the Doctor. I would expect that fans of Tom Baker's Doctor are possibly raging at their screens right now. Alex, you're such an imbecile. I can't believe why you pick Capaldi's Doctors over Tom. Listen, I love every Doctor and every actor who has had the privilege to play the Doctor. All the Doctors are special in their different ways. Some are loved more than others. Some are given so much backlash I don't know how to respond. There is no right or wrong opinions in this video. Let's make that very clear. Series 8 of Doctor Who was met with a lot of mixed reactions. The 12th Doctor's tenure was fresh off the heels following the regeneration of Matt Smith's 11th Doctor, and many new and older fans found it quite bold to replace the lead role of the Doctor by someone so, well, different. Peter Capaldi's take on the Doctor was drastically different than Matt Smith's, gone of the expressive flappy hands, childlike amusement with the world and a goofy optimistic attitude, whereas 12 was grumpy, sarcastic, witty, dark, and kind of a jackass, which most people loved that about him. A lot of Doctor Who fans will agree, even if they didn't like his run as the Doctor, that Peter Capaldi was the best actor to take on the role. But I think 12's tenure was better than what most people expected, especially his storyline being so unique and relatable. Let me explain deeper. Before I go into detail about Capaldi's run as the Doctor, I want to explain a really good theory that I have about the Doctor's regenerations, concerning the new series specifically. If you agree, I believe it makes a better viewing experience to understand my points. You see, I believe that when the Doctor regenerates, the way his new body, his new face looks is affected by his subconscious thoughts on the brink of regeneration. Here's what I mean. The 9th Doctor died right after he was in love with Rose, and with that in mind, his next incarnation was younger, handsome, and more emotional. He was perfectly suited to being a romantic-like figure throughout his tenure, not to mention experiencing love and lust for some of his companions, I mean Rose. This was the reason why most fans loved David Tennant's Doctor, because he was full of romance and heroic qualities. When the 10th Doctor died, he was emotionally destroyed, knowing he didn't want to go. He knew this was the last of his regenerations, and so he had to make the most out of what he could. He became young, vibrant, and full of life, the best way to enjoy of what he had left of his life. Such a charismatic and goofy madman in a box. When the 11th Doctor died, he was upset about the number of people he had to watch die. He spent 700 years on Trenzalore, protecting the people and watching them perish in the surrounding struggle. And he was missing Amy Pond, the first face that encountered Matt Smith's Doctor, so feisty and Scottish, which was the last thought in the 11th Doctor's mind, which meant when he regenerated into the 12th Doctor, he was Scottish, much older, colder, darker, and distant as not to be hurt by love or lost anymore. He was hurtful to affection because he was guarding his hearts to never have them broken again. Does anyone remember this episode, the the girl who died. There's a little truth to this theory. The Doctor subconsciously picked his face as a way to remind himself to always try and save those who seem lost. It seems reasonable that his subconscious is in control of the other attributes of his generation aside from his appearance. Anyway, at the beginning of Series 8, the Doctor is cold, dark and emotionally distant, clearly having an identity crisis. This is shown by one important question he keeps telling himself: am I a good man? The Doctor is now verbally abrasive and hard to deal with. It's sort of a defense mechanism he's put in place in order to protect himself from forming strong connections with others, so his heart doesn't get broken again. But in trying to understand this new personality and the way he's currently acting the way he is, by his reasoning at the end of Death in Heaven by stating he's not a good man, he's not a bad man, he's an idiot. Why, you may ask? Well, 12 learns that he should stop holding himself to some unknown standard, to stop judging his actions against his strict ego, and to simply do his best. At this point, he has accepted himself. He's fine of being the 12th Doctor now, even though Clara was very unsure at first, but slowly understood and guided the 12th Doctor to find his true self. Clara wasn't terrible. Even with the distraction of Danny Pink, it made sense that Series 8 was a roadblock for Clara and the Doctor to look past their differences and travel on wonderful adventures together, which brings us on to Series 9. Series 9 brought us a changed Doctor. He's goofy, funny, witty, and he's more emotionally closer around others, which was why most people loved Series 9, because most importantly, he was having fun, showcasing his true self. Unfortunately for the Doctor, because he's managed to shake off his cold, dark and static personnel, this means that he begins to make strong connections. He grows closer to Clara, much closer. They become the best of friends, which ironically happens at the same time when Clara is about to die, losing her to the Raven in Face the Raven. It sends the Doctor into oblivion. He's smart enough to understand exactly why his subconscious imposes his personality upon him. He's also smart enough to understand how hard it is to grow past his cold and darker self into a much kinder and happier person, and how big of a mistake it was to do so, and now he's pissed. It takes an impassionate speech from Clara to convince a furious Doctor after going through Heaven Sent and Hellbent to save her, but also required parts of his memories to be wiped, and this changed him. He had experienced real gut-wrenching loss, and this was only possible because of his personal growth thus far, which made 12 more kinder and understanding of those around him. Series 10 was the 12th Doctor's peak, and reached the fully realised version of this incarnation. He's clearly expressing the lessons he has learned over the past 2 series. He's still a goofball, dressed like a rock star grandpa, because he knows not to take himself too seriously. He knows the pain of loss, and it affects the way he treats those around him. He's a lecturer at a quiet university, alongside with Nardole, keeping himself guarding a secret. He teaches Bill during his time, taking her on journeys throughout his lectures and beyond the stars. Bill accepts the Doctor of who he is, as someone who can teach and protect those in need of help. However, in Series 10, the Doctor takes a dangerous risk in Episode 5, Oxygen, when he becomes blind. At this point, he still is the Doctor, but develops an ego of only helping others but never himself. It's interesting on Nardole's and Bill's points of views, as they do the right thing by giving his sight back from the monks in the Monk Trilogy. This was new for the Doctor, his companions actually giving a damn about the Doctor's health and freedom. Bill and Nardole are very underrated. They may know what the consequences may occur if the Doctor takes himself too seriously. The second person he teaches is Missy, his oldest friend, who has been at the centre of the loss of the Doctor's closest friends and millions of innocent people. At this point, he becomes kind enough to give up his adventurous ways and devote himself to keep guard and to slowly change her. He's accepted his role to change the personnel of his arch enemy and to teach her some of the life-changing conclusions he has. This is not the Doctor of Series 8 or Series 9 would have done. The Doctor eventually breaks through to Missy. She stumbles afterwards by her previous incarnation John Sims, but eventually finds herself standing with the Doctor and giving up her vicious ways. Tragedy strikes though, as she kills the Master, but the Master kills Missy in the back, and she turns against her other selves and perishes in the dark. And the Doctor never gets to know if he had changed her. The tragedy compounds as the Doctor's heart breaks, only to begin to multiply. He failed to save Bill and couldn't change her back. His best friend, whose soul was so close to saving, decided to betray him and turn back to her vicious ways. He was unable to stop the evolution of the Cybermen or to save the people trapped on the ship. He was utterly defeated. This was the consequence of the Doctor breaking through his gruff exterior. This was the reason why 12 was tougher and more distant than any other Doctor, because he had the softest hearts. Not a single incarnation before him made the same types of human connections he could. It's the real reason why he was the only one to have become the hybrid in Series 9. The only one emotionally vulnerable enough to bond with another person like that. And he's willing to die because of this. He just keeps losing people. No matter how hard he tries, he can't save them. Twice Upon a Time wasn't just a farewell to Capaldi's Doctor. He saved the Brigadier's father in the story. He gets reminded of how far he's come since his first regeneration, how many lives he has saved, how many hearts he's touched, and how much growing he still has yet to do. This all leads to the Doctor's final decision to carry on living his life across the universe. He chooses kindness over loneliness because no matter how much it hurts, he is needed in that universe. Being strong, compassionate, and most importantly, being kind. His subconscious thoughts were probably taking into effect how Bill got her happy ending, as well as Nardole. The Doctor has got his memories back with Clara, his best friend, throughout his era. And of course Missy, who he hoped that Missy would have understood him and changed her. But that didn't happen. If the Doctor had Missy in his thoughts, in her position, the Doctor would do his best to be compassionate. Imagine a compassionate time lady travelling across the universe, saving lives and doing her best. Peter Capaldi's acting is unquestionable. His character development was real, heartfelt, and inspiring to future Doctors to follow in what he stood for. That's my Doctor. My favourite Doctor. The greatest of all time. And there you have it, people. That is my unpopular opinion on the one and only, the 12th Doctor. Please let me know, what did you think of my regeneration theory? Please let me know who's your favourite Doctor and why. Please let me know all those thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, share, and hit that subscribe button for more Doctor Who content like this. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and don't forget to stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives. But thank you so much everyone for watching my honest video of Peter Capaldi's era as a whole, and I'll see all of you next time for another Doctor Who video. Until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye!